Welcome back, everybody. You're with us here on Cape Rugby TV. We're taking a look at season highlights, Super League C, Super League B, Super League A. We're also taking a look at some of the Sevens results, sort of a review on how our clubs performed and did over the year, and of course just general chatting in terms of what we're calling now the top topics. So in studio with me, Renzo Botman, Alistair Tace. Renz, you've been in the game for a while now, and we were just looking at Macassar and Primrose. Super League C, the difference, we used to have this conversation that Super League B was the pool of death, that was the narrowest margins. It was 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and everybody knew that if you were playing in Super League B, you were going to be dropping from either Super League A, you were playing against former Super League A teams, or you were playing against the best of Super League C. So you were sort of squashed in the middle of these two leagues, and Super League B was, like we say, the kind of the league of death. But Super League C is starting to look like that now as well.
Yes, Japes, as you said, Super League C is again the middle point for Super League B and the regional, the top 9.
Yeah.
And just looking at the top 9 this year, some awesome teams coming through there. So yeah, I think Super League C is always tough to come out on top, especially when you get into that top 6, because now the top 6 is normally the top the guys that comes from Super League B. So it's always tough to get out there.
You agree, Ellie? I mean,
yeah, look, I still think that Super League B is the tough one, but across the leagues, like C. And the top 9 clubs has evolved over the past couple of years, post-COVID.
Yeah.
And I keep saying post-COVID, but COVID's long gone.
So
the player participation is up, investment in club and coaching.
Yeah.
Clubs are getting better coaching, so they've evolved. And like Renzo said, that top 9, there was some quality rugby.
And the technology has improved, or at least let's say it's been spread wider.
Yeah.
There's more exposure to players and teams. People are watching things on YouTube. 10 years ago, that wasn't necessarily the case. But today, there's no secrets anymore.
So, like, if I look at the A and some teams in the B, and even in the C League, clubs have analysts now with them. So it's not just them plugging a video and watching a whole game. They're actually getting games coded, how can they improve, sending clips to players, and it's happening across board.
Does that make a difference? Does it really make that much difference, Renzo, when you're able to coach? We might have coaches that are getting paid a lot of money, but the reality is, most of the time you're only coaching on, say, for example, a Tuesday and a Thursday night. That's it. And then you play on Saturday, and you hope for the best that all your players are going to pitch up. Yeah. Is the technology really going to make that much difference? Surely it's a question of player management more than technology.
Look, I agree, and I also step to the other side of the line, because it's how you manage your time across that 2 training sessions you have. Some clubs have 3 training sessions. A video session doesn't have to be half an hour. It can be 10 to 15 minutes, precise. It's clarity on where you're going to, and then how you plan the rest of your training session.
Yeah.
It does seem like a little time, but if you manage your time correctly, you can get through quite a lot.
Renz, you jump in there. Tell me your thoughts.
I almost said whatever Alistair said. But yeah, no, it is right. Just looking at our club, just looking at Hamilton, so we've got the Monday night video session, and it's 15 minutes. 15 minutes, then it's flash out, work what's coming up the weekend, and it's done. So you put out what you need to execute for this week, what's the weak points on our opponents, work on that, and then we go.
But the biggest problem still has been, the basics has to be there. First of all, you need to make sure you've got players. You need to make sure that your players are coming to practice. And if you can't get past that first challenge, doesn't matter what video you've got. You're looking at
Look, the game comes down to planning, and then it comes down to not just in season, it comes down to your off and your pre-season, and how you recruit players, and the environment you create for the players, not just you as a coach, but the club.
Yeah.
Is it welcoming? Can I bring my family and my kids? Am I enjoying my training session?
So you mentioned something interesting there, because there used to be a lot of talk that if you were a coach, and we're talking now about coaches are being paid, there was a time that the coach was the glue for the club. You played for the coach, you played for the jersey, and that the top coaches were the guys that were organizing Braaivleis and Potjie course, and the coach would be, his secret to a good coach at that time was looking after your players, caring about your players. That was what made the success of a coach. I don't know, Renz, if you want to jump in there.
It's still the same, Jobs. You know, as a coach, I think Ali can confirm this, but as a coach, as a head coach, your first priority is looking after your players. You know, it doesn't have to be Braaivleis or anything like that, but you know, just when they come to a practice, you ask them, how are you? How was your day? How's your family doing? You know them personally. Once you get that, you get the trust of the players, and once you get the trust of the players, everything becomes easier at the end of the day.
All right, well, I've got a lot of discussion to be had about this, but let's go now. Super League B finals was, of course, contested between UWC and Van der Stel. All right, there we go. Guys, we're a little bit tight on time there. UWC Van der Stel. Renz, obviously, both teams playing out of their socks. Van der Stel getting promoted.
Van der Stel, very, very good side this year. I think they played well. Coming from Super C, going into Super B and straight into Super A, that has to be, well done to them. UWC, obviously, the students this year did very well. With,
I've got to just jump in there. Sorry to interrupt you, Renz, but I've got to jump in there. The thing that jumped out for me in the season was the Hamadias win over Van der Stel at the Van der Stel home ground.
Yeah, that was massive. That was like till the end. I think Ahmadiyya scored in extra time.
Yeah.
We it was either intercept pass or they knocked it on and Ahmadiyya's picked it up. But it was a time Ahmadiyya's had a great season.
Well, that's my point. Yeah.
Belhar also had a great season. They
Yeah.
just missed out. Hence that Super B being, a pool of death or league of death.
Yeah.
That top six was quite tight.
All right, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to carry on talking about these dynamics between Super League C and Super League B. Back in a sec. Don't go away.